Today, the Motorhead Garage crew checks out titanium parts to trick out your ride. How to eliminate odors from any vehicle, increasing shop efficiency, and extending the life of your car or truck. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Thanks for cruising along with Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now you were looking at one fine 06 Evo 9 MR, and this car is fantastic by itself, but at JD Customs USA, John, you guys have taken this to another level. Vehicles like this.
For sure.
How?
Titanium. It's easy. The coloring is amazing. People go to that for the coloring first, and then it also has different properties. It's extremely light, rust resistant, and people just really love the way it looks. You see a lot of cars that have basic hardware that's rusty or it's been painted over the years or something, so we try to get them to replace with titanium, which is super light, extremely strong, and you never have to worry about it rusting or actually outlast any car if you put it on it. So that's the kind of thing that we started with.
So you've got the good looks and better performance
for sure,
and longer lasting parts now.
Exactly.
How did this all get started?
Well, I bought this car back in 2015. It was the first Evo that I owned, and there was a ignition system that was kind of weak on the Evos when they come from factory. So I decided to make a more powerful one. I had friends asking for me to make those, and those kind of started taking off and selling, and then people started asking for titanium hardware for some reason. I just decided to kind of go with it. Started getting little tiny bolts for one thing, and then I'd start getting more bolts for other things, and it just expanded on itself, and now we make just about anything you can think of for the Evo and for tons of other cars too.
And so some of these parts are universal and some are vehicle specific here. Let's talk about some of the stuff you brought here on the table. First of all, the shift knobs. They're super cool and they had a lot of personality.
Yes, for sure. This one is our standard GR5 titanium shift knob, and it does have the recess on the bottom side for reverse lockouts for cars that have the 6-speed in reverse there. It's universal. There is a billet aluminum adapter that inserts into the shift knob to fit pretty much any vehicle. So this is the pretty standard one, which is still super nice, but these are the very special, very expensive, solid Damascus shift knobs. I know you've probably heard of Damascus with like knife works and stuff like that, but these are made of two different types of titanium, and they're folded and molded together to get the pattern that you see, and those are actually torch burned by me with the actual flamethrower to get that color.
Sounds like a lot of fun to make to me.
It is kind of, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the plates you have on the front there. First of all, let's talk about this long one here. This is something you've used as nameplates for people's offices,
yeah,
that sort of thing. But you've done it to illustrate the different colors with your titanium. How's that done?
So with titanium anodizing, we use water and a few different chemicals and electricity to get the colors instead of torch burning like you would do on this one. The reason we anodize is because it's a lot easier to control colors and get more vibrant colors and make the part look the same just about every time, so it's a repeatable process. So on here you can see there's different voltages that get you different colors, and like a light green being the top of the scale, and you can see the bear down here, and it goes to bronze up into those colors. So this color here, you would see that it started at the top, so the top is in the water longer than the bottom, so that would give you the blue over to the purple going to bronze to bear.
And of course you can get sort of this rainbow look if that's what you want.
Yeah.
If you want a combination of any of those colors, can you guys do that for me?
Right, we can do solid colors, we can do higher voltage colors, which are farther down towards the green. We have a color that's called rainbow, which gives you more of a pink and gold, light blue, colors like that. This one is our traditional burnt color, which is the most popular, most famous. It's actually the closest you can get to an actual torch burnt colored titanium piece. Those are the natural colors it normally changes to. So we replicate that process with anodizing. And then this is an Evo 10 oil cap, it's solid titanium. Those are just a factory replacement. They look super good. Just pull off the old one, put the new one on.
And of course, you can make these fantastic nameplates we see, and those are really popular.
Right, we sell so many different custom badges, it's crazy. Since there's so many different things you can add to them, and they can go on any car, anywhere you want to put them, interior, exterior. You can put the person who built your motor on the plaque, or just put your Instagram name. There's tons of different sizes and color options, so go crazy with it.
And you've hit on stuff that's under the hood now. Tell me what's on this Evo behind us.
What's not on the Evo behind us?
Basically anything metal,
right?
You make it into titanium.
Yeah, and even some things that weren't originally metal, we make them out of titanium too. The fuse box cover is just a cover titanium that goes on top of the regular plastic fuse box cover. It adds, an extra place where you can have centerpiece, and you can put your logo or put a design, anything on there. We can laser just about anything you can think of on those pieces. The radiator cooling shroud is also another really cool centerpiece. It's right in the front of the car whenever you open the hood. So that's a big piece. It takes a lot of time to make, but also has all those custom options that you can add to.
And around the car as well, I noticed lug nuts.
Yes, lug nuts are one of our biggest selling parts. We just can't keep them in stock. People love them. Once you hold a lug nut in your hand, you're like, is this even real? Like, it's so light, but they're extremely durable. They look really well, and they have an open end on these, so you can have extended studs also. And we also make axle nuts too in titanium, so it saves a little bit of weight along the way.
And even the antenna was not originally metal on this, but you could make it out of metal.
Sure.
And of course, you made it out of titanium.
Yeah, the antennas that come on these were really long and plastic, and they look kind of weird, so decided to make a titanium one that's a shorty antenna, is what we call it. It looks so much better.
We talked about the shift knobs, that's in the interior, of course. The dash bezel, another part you made, and also the steering wheel. There's a ring around there.
Yep, I saw a surface that was just basic aluminum from factory, and there's little clips that come off, and I was like, we can make a piece that just overlays over top of this in titanium, and there's room for a custom logo at the bottom, but we put the factory Momo logo on there at the bottom, and super easy to put on. You just take off the clips, put the piece there, the clips back in place, and you've just upgraded your interior. It adds a big difference.
Of course, the titanium looks great. How do you keep it looking good?
Well, we had a lot of people asking, what do I use to clean this? After they touch it, they're like, this is faded. It needs to be cleaned. What do I use? So instead of recommending another product, we decided to make our own. So we came out with the JDC Titanium Cleaner. This is actually perfect for cleaning titanium. It wipes off fingerprints, any residues, keeps it really nice and shiny, just like it looks like whenever you get it the first time.
And you guys have an eye for things that aren't titanium. If you have these plastic rivets that you see all over vehicles, you can replace them with titanium rivets like this. If you've got a wide body kit or exterior panels that are put on, you can, instead of using these ugly rivets, you can use these beautiful titanium ones instead. Easily removable, and they look fantastic. You can find this entire world of titanium products for your vehicle at jdcustomsusa.com. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so do not go away.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Strapino, your simple solution to tie-down straps and cargo needs. And by Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, rolls on, and we are talking about odors. Now, bad odors are everywhere, and they're especially hard to get rid of if they're in your vehicle. And now, Chris, there are other people claiming to eliminate odors out there, but what's wrong with those products?
What you're going to find is a lot of the other products are using cover scents. They spray in a particular cover spray that grabs the odor, it basically buries it or puts it deep down into the fibers for a short time, but that's a temporary solution. It's not a permanent solution.
So if you start out with a mildew smell, you add some orange scent to it, you've got orange mildew now after a time. So that's no good.
Exactly.
But dead scent kills the scent. And how do you do it?
Well, dead scent is using ClO2 or chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is a powerful oxidizing chemical compound.
Chlorine dioxide sounds dangerous.
Well, actually, it sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
It does have the word chlorine in the name.
Yeah.
But it's not dangerous. That's where it ends being anywhere near like bleach, which has dangerous byproducts. Chlorine dioxide, when it's done doing its thing with eliminating odors, breaks down to something as simple as water and salt.
And how does it actually work? How does it eliminate the odors?
Well, chlorine dioxide is made of 2 oxygen atoms and 1 chlorine atom. And what it does is it oxidizes the odor molecules by breaking off, and it has that selective property that can break off and attack the molecules of the odors, breaking them apart and dissolving them permanently.
Is dead scent something that's going to be used by professionals, or can you do this at home?
Both. This is actually something that is used by professionals. There are some, let's say, professional remediation companies will use chlorine dioxide, can use dead scent. We have auto auctions that will purchase and use it to recondition vehicles before they go to the auction block and back out into the market to get rid of the bad odors. But it's also been designed to be safe for your average consumer to to use in the home with no chemical, hand-to-chemical contact.
I think the thing that's significant is the same kit is being used by the pros. You can use that same kit at home as well.
Exactly.
And you've got different vehicles covered here. You got boats and cars and SUVs as well. Why the different sizes?
We find that there is a need to have a different size, gram size, depending on the size of the area being treated, and also on the severity of the odor. Let's face it, for someone who just has a basic musty smell, you might get away with a lower gram treatment pack. Whereas if a vehicle's been sitting for a long time, or say an RV or a boat for a long time, they have a stronger odor, then they're gonna up their game to a 50 or even sometimes the 100-gram treatment pack. That allows the consumer to now graduate the treatment based on what the level of odor is in that area.
We talked about odors. There are all kinds. What can dead scent eliminate? What kind of odors?
Well, one of the biggest that we're thinking about is smoke smell. That's huge. We hear that all the time. But also mice or rodents that get into vehicles. Also, it could be just food. People taking their kids back and forth using it, or people driving while they're eating at the same time, things get spilled. Could be pet odors in the vehicle. All these things, again, we talked about mold and musty smells, all these odors build up over time within a vehicle or within an RV or a boat. So if you name the odor, chlorine dioxide can go after and will eliminate it.
Dead scent comes in a kit.
Yes.
How does the kit actually work once you get it?
Well, once they open up the treatment, the plastic containment system here, that's the treatment pack. That is going to be laid flat inside the treatment area that they're going to add water to the line. And then they would open the foil pouch where the treatment pack is located. Take that out, you're going to see a yellow side and a blue side. The blue side is then placed into the water. At that point in time, the water is absorbed, it comes through the treatment kit, it will swell, and then it begins to react and off gas, and CO2 will then be released into the area.
I know you said it's safe, but how long do I need to wait before I actually get back into the vehicle after we give it a treatment?
We recommend a minimum of 6 hours for a treatment. If you can go longer, that's even better. If it's out in the direct sunlight, then we would recommend you wait until it's out of direct sunlight or in a garage, somewhere where the sun isn't beating in, because sun will react with CO2. You want to let it run then, again, minimum 6 hours. We recommend, if you have the opportunity, again, overnight is even better. And then once it's done, you got to give yourself at least an hour to let things air out and let all that gas out of the vehicle.
By the way, there's also a kit for hunters, so it'll take the scent out of your clothing. The deer won't even know you're out there. You can find that and all these products from Dead Scent at deadscent.com. And you can find more of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Dragonfire Tools, quality affordable storage. Proud sponsor of our DragonfireTools.com studio.
At DragonfireTools.com, you can get a workbench that's over 9 feet long, or if you don't have that much space, or you don't need that much space, 7 feet, Lou. And this one has 17 drawers. Why is this one so popular?
This is our 17-drawer Midnight Pro Series workbench, and the reason why this one is so popular in the 7-foot series is because of these 41-inch wide drawers, Dave. They give you a lot of storage capacity, and we also have a wide, deep drawer there for even your tallest sockets.
Well, let's talk about sockets now. How do they fit in the more shallow drawer?
You can still stand deep well sockets up even in the shallow drawers, and the drawers pull out 100%. So the stuff in the back of the drawer, you're going to be able to get it from the front or the side of the drawer.
I've used a few cheap toolboxes in my time, and if you overload the drawers, they're hard to open, they start to rack, they might be hard to close. How have you solved that problem at Dragonfire Tools?
So we're using heavy-duty rails on these drawers. The single rail drawers are rated for 200 pounds, and the deep double rail drawers are rated for 400 pounds.
And what's the construction? What are these workbenches made out of?
So we have a 14-gauge 304 stainless steel top on them. We have a 14-gauge tubular welded steel powder-coated frame. We have a 16-gauge galvanized steel drawer bodies, and we have 14-gauge drawer fronts with 14-gauge 304 stainless steel handles also.
The quality is there. The pros love these things from DragonfireTools.com. You can go there and get one for yourself. Enter the promo code MOTORHEAD to get yourself a discount and free shipping. Last week on Motorhead Garage, we talked to Gabe, whose buddy had brought a vehicle into Oil Undercoating. Well, he loved it so much, he said, Gabe, you've got to get this done yourself, and Gabe took his advice.
So I had 2 Toyota 4Runners in a row make it to about 240, 260,000 miles. Then the frames rusted out. The rest of the vehicle is perfect. I mean, I feel like they could have gone another 100,000 miles easily, but they wouldn't pass inspection, and it just wasn't a reasonable expense to have the frame replaced. So I searched for a really long time and bought an old Toyota Land Cruiser in Florida. Absolutely perfect frame. Drove down there, brought it back up here, and my first stop was NHOU. Came into this waiting room and was totally amazed. I thought the experience was going to be sort of like a typical oil change place where you're sitting in an uncomfortable chair, drinking old coffee, old magazines, and this place is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's got a fireplace in the corner, leather furniture, fast Wi-Fi, TVs so you could see the work that they're doing on your vehicle. Everyone's friendly, coffee's good, snacks are good. Kind of a remarkable place. And the properties that make the oil undercoating amazing is that it sticks really, really well, but it also creeps. So creeping is critical. It needs to get into all those little places rust begins. So what's most important is the parts you can't see, the part inside the frame.
If you want to know how well NHOU Protective Coatings protects your vehicle, you can look on the website for scientific proof, or if you have a friend that's had it done, go talk to them. I bet they're happy about it. A special thanks to NHOU Protective Coatings for sponsoring Motorhead Garage. We have a whole lot more when we come back right after these messages.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Next Gen, the most powerful detailing products ever made. UACE 3D Max Spider Custom Fit Floor Mats, redefined protection. And by Dragonfire Tools, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
A lot of viewers to Motorhead Garage ask me, do NHOU Protective Coatings work? Well, here's a guy who can tell us firsthand. Now, Joe, you started this company 11 years ago. What was the inspiration?
I was personally affected by corrosion. Lost a lot of vehicles. My last vehicle was a 2006 F-250. Got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore.
And it's tragic because these vehicles have hundreds of thousands of miles in them, at least engine-wise, but you're watching the body fall
just
apart.
doesn't. The metal substrates can't take the chemicals they're putting on the road today. So we bought this truck, and from day one, we've been diligent with the oil undercoatings. Now, this one, I would challenge you to actually take a rag. You can walk around and wipe any spot you want. For an 11-year-old vehicle, lived its whole life in New England, you'd be hard-pressed to find any rust. This is proof that if you're diligent, this oil works.
And this vehicle is 11 years old. You coated it from the very beginning.
From day one, lived in New England since day one.
If you look under any vehicle, if you're looking for a used vehicle in the north, you know you're going to find rust everywhere. So I'm going to take this rag here, Joe, and I am going to look and see, rub away some of the NHOU protective coating off of this, and that looks, oh my goodness, that looks like it is
factory
brand
shine
new.
right
there.
That
is unreal. Yeah. You have, in case it's like a time capsule.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say that you won't find rust if you look hard enough, but I'm going to tell you now, indicative of an average job where people are proactive, I'm going to get 10 or 15 years of extra life off of this vehicle. At least the engine by then may be, towards the end of its life, and I will feel as though I got my money's worth out of it.
It's an incredible story. You can see the proof right there. Go to NHOilundercoating.com and you can see how NHOU Protective Coatings can make your vehicle last for a long, long time.
Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
I love hosting Motorhead Garage, and I also have the great pleasure of hosting a show called Tech Garage. And you can find that every Saturday morning in the springtime on Motor Trend. Now, we couldn't do that show without our terrific crew down at Chipola College in Florida, including our assistant Benjamin Roach. He's a master mechanic. He says he could not do his job without the Magic Creeper.
When I first saw the Magic Creeper, I was like, this seems like one of the best multi-tools I've ever seen. I mean, you can go under a car, you can use it as a fender cover, you can put it as a protector while in the car. It just all around seemed to be a good tool to have.
And so you got it in your hands. What was the first thing you did with it?
First thing I did was actually I had to replace the clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder on my truck. And I was in a pavement parking lot, which is very uncomfortable when you're on your back doing stuff. So it helped to slide out from under my truck, and also it helped me to kind of cushion so I wasn't getting sore and scraped up. If I didn't have a Magic Creeper, I probably would have tried to find a blanket or a piece of cardboard or even a piece of plastic.
How much easier is the Magic Creeper to use than one of those methods?
Oh, it's so much easier because you can slide on it. You're not worried about it, ripping or getting caught and then, sliding off of it and scraping your elbow or your arm. But Magic Creeper is so much easier.
You're using the Magic Creeper at home, but you're also using it at your job as well.
A little bit now and then when it comes into a tight spot and you can't really get a roll around, you kind of need every inch you can to get under a vehicle. It comes in handy a lot.
What do you tell friends, like folks that are watching you use the Magic Creeper? What do you tell them?
I tell them if you get out from under cars, any structure whatsoever, and you need a quick way to get in and out, it's the best tool to have.
That is going to do it for this episode of Motorhead Garage, and we hope you enjoyed the ride. We'll do it again next week. If you promise to come along, we'll do it at the same time, same sandbox. In the meantime, you can find us on the socials, and if you have a product you want to see on the show, email Jeff@masterstv.com. We'll get you here in our Dragonfire Tools studio. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, we'll see you next time. Drive safely.